Scott Pritchard here with Sean Foley. Sean's coming up in 2 weeks to speak at the Ontario PGA Professional Development Conference, and also with Craig Davies. Really looking forward, Sean, to having you up there. Tell us a recent signing that you just acquired. Two, actually, you just told me about. One, obviously, being Laurie Kane. Must be pretty exciting for you to have another Canadian in your stable, and another one with Jamie Lovemark, which is an up-and-coming player on the PGA Tour. So, first of all, talk to us about Laurie and how that came to be, and what you're working on with her.
Well, I think that I've known Laurie for quite some time now. I've seen her a lot out on tour watching Stephen and Mike and some of the Canadian players. And I think ultimately at this point in her career, she kind of lost her way a little bit. So we're just trying to, get her back to her, back to her playing ability, to how she used to swing. She's also worked, Craig's done some body scans and has created a program for her. So, yeah, it's always nice when you can, help out another Canadian golfer and kind of keep it within Canada. As far as Jamie Lovemark goes, I'm extremely excited to work with this young man. He's got a brilliant short game, just trying to help his concept and his understanding of his golf swing. But at 21 years of age, I think the sky's the limit for him.
Great. So tell us about the conference, and obviously you're looking forward to coming up there. What specifically is in your repertoire that you're going to talk about to the guys? Sort of what's the overall big picture? What do you want to deliver, and sort of your message at the end of the day? The guys come out with the knowledge of, sort of thing.
Well, I'm obviously a believer that theoretically and empirically you have to be able to back up what you're coaching with all the science that's been provided in great amounts, but also to let the guys understand, kind of the ideas of teaching and what it is that we're trying to do with our clients, and giving them the most value, whether it's a tour player or someone who is a 40 handicap. Right. So, kind of talking a little bit about that, obviously getting into the theory of the golf swing, but also getting into the theory of how you run a successful lesson, how you run a successful business, the kind of key ingredients to success, which, as we'll talk about, are perception, priority, patience, perseverance, and passion. So talk about and identify those ideas, what they've meant to me, and if you integrate it into kind of your system, how you can go forward and be more effective and really empower yourself and your student.
Great. So tell us a little bit about how the Core Golf Academy came to be. I think it used to be called the Canadian Junior Golf Academy or something like that. Tell us how this whole concept came to be, and obviously you have a few academies up in Toronto and with Tom Jackson. So just give us a little bit of understanding of how this business came to be.
Well, it came to be as far as Tom Jackson's idea of, we coached a lot of kids who would end up going to IMG, and they would come back with, to the IMG camps in Bradenton, come back with not necessarily great reviews on how they felt like, they were undercoached, they didn't get enough time, they were kind of just teaching, one type of swing to everyone, and we were losing a lot of Canadian kids to that. So Tom's idea was to start a business in Orlando that would obviously give the kids the ability to go to school or take school online or even post-grad elements to it. And then we would work with them in the afternoon from 2 o'clock till 5:30. They play pretty much a full, rigorous, schedule in tournaments in throughout Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and whatnot. So it kind of started that way more than anything. Also, I obviously wanted to get down to Orlando. If you want to work with tour players or higher caliber players, you have to kind of come to where they're at. So, taking a big step from Canada, moving down here to where I had a successful business going at home, and then coming down and starting all over again, was an interesting and an exciting development in my career.
So, speaking of your career, obviously you have quite a few top-level caliber players with Justin Rose, Hunter Mahan. What are you looking forward the most in terms of your stable of players, and maybe a player to watch that you've been working with? I know that, that talk about Justin and had to get the first PGA Tour win and sort of a monkey on his back. So, maybe just give us an idea of what you're most excited about in terms of all the guys that you're working with.
Well, it's just, it's all about positive momentum. It's like continual growth. I don't really assess what we're doing by by wins or world ranking points. But obviously, if you create a system and you organize their idea of their golf swing and their short game, and then help them with their mental aspects and the philosophical aspects of performance, versus winning or losing, kind of a duality. I'm more into a non-duality where it's shades of gray instead of black and white. So they have to be capable to recognize the opportunity in everything, from playing poorly to playing well, and utilizing that evidence to improve. So I'm excited for Justin and Sean O'Hare. Last year had a massive year, as well as Hunter did. Stephen won again, just at the end of the year there. So just trying to continue with the consistency, provide support to them. I'm traveling 23 weeks with my PGA Tour players this year. The number of players is now up to 8, and I'm pretty much capped at that point. But I'm interested to see how much I can help Lori, and then another girl on the LPGA Tour, Yanni Seng, who's a young girl from Taiwan, who's a top caliber player. Just see how I can continue to improve them as players and people.
Are you working with any Canadian Tour or other Canadian, professionals that may not be known to the masses?
Yeah, I've worked a few times with John Mills now. I've worked with Andrew Parr. Obviously, I'm working with Andrew Parr, Chris Barilla, Matt Johnston, Mark Leon, Greg McCauley, and then obviously my younger kids like Graham Byerjohn, who's going to NC State, Jennifer Kirby at the University of Alabama, and Nicole Vandermeid at the University of Texas. So I'm getting to a point where I realize where my niche is and where I need to work, and then trying to do that and balance being a husband and a father has kind of been the key ingredient now, is to recognize how to make that more seamless. So I'm going to have to do what I have to do, but teaching private lessons and things like that when I'm at home, I think is going to become a thing of the past, because you need to be focused on what it is that one, that's paying the bills, and two, where your passion lies.
Great. Well, Sean, thanks a lot for this today, and we look forward to having you at the Ontario PGA Professional Development Conference on February 16th with Dr. Craig Davies, and best of luck this year, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks.